Okay, ready to dive in? The Illuminati, right?
Mm.
Everyone's heard of them, this shadowy group that supposedly runs the world. But how much of it is actually true? We're going to try to figure that out today, and we're using this article from the week to help us sort it all out.
It's definitely one of those topics full of mystery and frankly, a lot of misconceptions. But that's what makes it so interesting to dig into, right?
Right, so let's start with the basics. Forget the pop culture stuff for a sec. Where did the real Illuminati, actually begin?
Well, we got to go back, way back to 18th century Bavaria. Picture it, 1776. Revolutions are brewing, Enlightenment ideas are spreading, and in the midst of all this, there's this law professor, Adam Weishaupt, who's pretty disillusioned. He sees the monarchy, the church, all these powerful institutions, and he feels like they're stifling free thought, blocking progress.
Yeah, kind of a timeless struggle, isn't it, that fight for intellectual freedom?
Absolutely. But Weishaupt, he decides to fight back, not with violence or anything, but by starting this secret society. He calls it the Order of the Illuminati.
A secret society, huh? Sounds kind of cool.
Oh, it was. They were inspired by the Freemasons, another group that, was really into Enlightenment ideals. The Illuminati, they focused on reason, logic, knowledge, self-improvement, all that good stuff. They met in secret, discussed philosophy, debated politics, and basically tried to envision a world, a society free from, tyranny and superstition.
So basically, a secret club of intellectuals trying to change the world.
That's a great way to put it. For them, illumination wasn't about like mystical powers or anything like that. It was about using reason, using logic to solve the world's
But
problems.
hold on, a secret society promoting Enlightenment ideals.
Hmm.
Isn't that a little contradictory?
Yeah, I see what you mean. But secrecy was, well, necessary at the time. Challenging the powers that be, the monarchy, the church, that was risky business. They could face some serious consequences.
Makes sense. So how long did this enlightened gathering last?
Sadly, not that long. They started gaining influence, and that caught the attention of the authorities. The Duke of Bavaria, he got spooked by their ideas, their growing popularity, so he outlawed all secret societies in the 1780s. Boom, just like that. The Illuminati, facing persecution, had to disband, basically disappeared, gone.
Wow, so the real deal Illuminati was gone over 200 years ago.
Yep, that's right. History books tell us they were kaput by the end of the 18th century.
So then how in the world did this group, a group that basically vanished, turn into this global conspiracy theory?
Ah, good question. Now we need to jump ahead. Fast forward to the 1960s. Think about it. Vietnam War, civil rights movement, a whole lot of distrust of authority brewing. It was the perfect time for, well, questioning everything. And smack dab in the middle of all that, this weird little text called Principia Discordia starts circulating.
Principia Discordia, what's that? Some kind of philosophy textbook.
Not exactly. More like a parody, actually. It promoted this made-up religion called Discordianism. The whole point was to shake things up, challenge authority, spread chaos, misinformation, hoaxes, the works.
So they were basically like the original internet trolls before the internet even existed.
You got it. And their biggest prank, their masterpiece, was this satirical novel called the Illuminatus trilogy. It took the name Illuminati, this forgotten historical group, and bam! Suddenly it's the center of this big conspiracy theory. And the funny thing is, the book became a huge hit, even turned into a play. Big names, like Bill Nye and Jim Broadbent, even starred in it.
Wow. So a parody brought the Illuminati back. Who would have thought?
Right. It's kind of crazy how it all happened. I mean, Wilson and Thornley, the authors, they were just messing around. But their little joke, it hit at just the right moment. People were already distrustful, looking for explanations, and this idea of a secret group pulling the strings, well, it just clicked.
And then, of course, the internet came along.
Exactly. Perfect timing. The internet was like this giant megaphone for these theories, and social media. Forget about it. The Illuminati went viral, basically, from a historical footnote to global internet sensation, all thanks to the power of the web.
Okay, so we've got this group that went from like disbanded in Bavaria to like trending topic worldwide.
Yeah.
But the question is, WHY? Do people buy into this? What makes this conspiracy theory so, I don't know, so S-ticky-Y?
There's something about secret societies, hidden clues, this idea that there's like a master plan behind everything. It's just intriguing.
It's like a puzzle everyone wants to solve, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of puzzles, let's talk about all those symbols, those signs people connect to the Illuminati, like the Eye of Providence on the dollar bill. What's up with that?
Ah, yes, the symbolism. That Eye of Providence has become like exhibit A for conspiracy theorists. They see it as proof, like undeniable proof, that the Illuminati had their hands in American history from the very beginning. And then they bring up figures like Thomas Jefferson, who was a big fan of Enlightenment ideas, evidence of the Illuminati's influence reaching into the highest levels of power.
Wait, are they saying the Founding Fathers were in the Illuminati?
Well, that's what some conspiracy theorists claim, yeah. Most historians, though, they don't really buy it. They see it as pure speculation, not really backed up by facts.
So it's more like find a symbol and yell Illuminati.
Pretty much. And there are tons of symbols, right? The pentagram, the number 666, goats, you name it, all linked to the Illuminati, even though there's often like zero historical connection. It's classic confirmation bias. Once you believe, you start seeing evidence everywhere.
Kind of reminds me of when President Biden talked about a new world order. I mean, he was talking about geopolitics, but the conspiracy theorists,
Yeah.
they went wild. Instant proof of the Illuminati master plan.
Right. Anything can be spun to fit the narrative. But that's the thing about these theories. They offer these simple explanations for things that are, well, actually pretty complex. It makes people feel like they've got it figured out, like there's some order in all the chaos.
Okay, so we've got secret societies, history, a dash of chaos, and a whole lot of symbols. But let's talk about who's supposedly calling the shots in this grand conspiracy. The celebrity Illuminati members.
Yes, the pop culture Illuminati. Now, this is where things get really fun. Musicians, athletes, you name it. The list of supposed Illuminati members. It's basically a who's who of pop culture.
Seriously, it feels like every big-name celebrity has been accused of being in the Illuminati at some point.
Yeah.
Why is that such a popular idea, you think?
Well, people are fascinated by celebrities, right? All that fame and fortune, it's got to come from somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So the Illuminati theory, it offers this simple explanation. They sold their souls for success.
And let's be honest, some celebs seem to play into it, don't they?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. They use those Illuminati-ish images in their music videos, make these vague statements in interviews, even joke about it on social media. It's a good way to, stir things up, get people talking, even if they don't actually believe it themselves.
So either they're in on the joke or they're actually in the Illuminati.
Well, that's the question, isn't it?
I think we need to dig into this a little deeper. Stick with us as we explore this whole celebrity Illuminati thing. We'll to try to figure out why it's so popular and what it tells us about, fame, power, and the whole entertainment industry.
Welcome back.
So we've been talking about the Illuminati.
Right. We've kind of traced it from, way back when.
From the historical stuff
Mm-hmm.
to how it popped up again in the 60s.
Yeah.
To how it is now, like this big pop culture thing.
Right.
And we even talked a bit about why people find these kinds of ideas so
Intriguing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I kind of want to dig into this whole celebrity thing a bit more. Like, who are some of the A-listers, the big names that people always connect to, this pop culture Illuminati?
Well, you can't really talk about the celebrity Illuminati without mentioning Beyoncé.
Beyoncé, yeah, Queen Bey, right?
Right.
Why is she always at the top of the list? Why her?
I mean, she's got this global fame, powerful stage presence, and of course, she's married to Jay-Z, who's another one who always comes up in these conversations.
Yeah, the power couple.
Right.
I remember that Super Bowl performance she did a few years back where she made like a diamond shape with her hands and everyone went crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's it. That's the Illuminati signal.
Yep, that's exactly the kind of thing that gets people going. Moments like that, plus all the, the specific images she uses in her music videos, even like her clothes sometimes.
It's all evidence.
Exactly.
And what about Jay-Z?
Mm-hmm.
I've heard all sorts of stuff, like people claiming there are Illuminati symbols hidden in his videos.
Right.
Or theories about that pyramid logo.
Rockefeller Records.
Yeah, Rockefeller Records, his old label.
Right.
It's like they see all this success, the business ventures, even some of the lyrics.
Yeah, anything about like power or ambition.
Yeah, and they automatically go Illuminati.
Mm-hmm. It's all part of this bigger story they're trying to tell.
Right, so it's not just about Beyonce or Jay-Z. It's about fitting them into this overarching narrative, like this
Grand conspiracy.
Yeah, this grand conspiracy where a secret group is behind everything.
Exactly.
And it doesn't stop there, right? Like Rihanna's another one who's always in the headlines.
Oh, yeah, definitely. There are all these theories about her using Illuminati symbols in her videos, especially, I think it was S&M, where she even, like, jokes about being the princess of the Illuminati.
So some artists are actually, like, playing with this stuff, kind of using it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's like they're winking at the conspiracy theorists.
Right, acknowledging it without really saying, yes, this is true, or no, this is
It's
BS.
all very, very mysterious.
Exactly. Keeps people guessing, keeps them interested.
Like Katy Perry.
Oh, yeah.
She once said that being accused of being in the Illuminati is like a sign that you've made it.
Like a badge of honor, almost.
All right.
In some circles.
But it's not just playing around, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some artists, I mean, let's be real, they might be using this whole Illuminati thing to stir up some controversy, get people talking about their work.
Oh, absolutely.
Controversy sells.
Especially these days, it's like free publicity.
Gets people sharing, debating, and ultimately that means more eyes on their music, their movies, whatever it is.
Right. More attention, more success.
So it's like, whether they believe it or not, some celebrities are definitely, using this whole thing to their advantage.
For sure.
And that kind of makes the conspiracy seem more real, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like this weird feedback loop.
The more celebs play with it, the more people believe it.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy, almost. Yeah. But beyond all the entertainment aspect, I think this whole thing says something about, how we view fame and power and the whole entertainment industry itself.
What do you mean?
Well, think about it. Why are we so obsessed with the idea that, like, celebrities are part of this secret society?
Mm-hmm.
What does that say about, how we see fame and the forces that are shaping our culture?
I guess it's that desire to peek behind the curtain, right? We want to know what's really going on, how the sausage is made, and the Illuminati. It's like it gives us this glimpse into this hidden world.
The secret world.
Yeah, where these powerful figures are controlling everything,
deciding who gets famous, who gets power, who gets to, influence our culture.
So even if we don't actually believe in the Illuminati, it makes us think about
the real power structures.
Yeah, the real power structures, the ones that actually exist in the entertainment industry.
And how they affect how we see the world.
Exactly.
I think that's one of the more interesting things that comes out of all this.
So even if the Illuminati itself isn't real,
the questions it raises.
Yeah, the questions about power, influence, all of that, they're very real.
For sure.
This has been a great conversation so far.
Yeah, it has.
But I feel like we've only scratched the surface.
There's always more to explore.
So stick with us, folks. We're going to keep going deeper into this whole Illuminati world.
Looking at like the psychology behind it all.
And how to sort through all the information and the misinformation out there. Back again for more Illuminati talk.
Round 3.
We've covered a lot of ground.
We have.
From the history to all the pop culture stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And even a little bit about, why people are drawn to these conspiracy theories.
Right, the psychology of it all.
But now I want to kind of shift gears a bit.
Okay.
And talk about how we can deal with all this information, all this misinformation that's out there.
Especially online, it can be overwhelming.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, how do we even know what to believe anymore? I mean, everyone's got an opinion, a theory, a fact they want to share.
It's definitely a challenge, this constant barrage of information.
So how do we navigate all this? How do we avoid falling down those rabbit holes?
Well, first off, I think we got to be critical of our sources.
Okay, so don't just believe everything you read.
Right, exactly. Like, who's giving you this information? Do they have an agenda? Are they backing up their claims with actual evidence, or are they just trying to, play on your emotions, your fears?
So basically, don't take things at face value.
Exactly. Even if it sounds convincing, even if it confirms what you already think, you got to question it.
Don't just stay in your echo chamber.
Right. Get out there and seek out different perspectives, especially on those controversial topics.
So even stuff you disagree with.
Yeah, even stuff you disagree with. The goal is to get the full picture. Right. Not just the version that fits your worldview.
This all sounds like a lot of work.
It is. It takes effort, but it's so important, especially these days when misinformation can spread like wildfire.
Yeah, you can't just sit back and passively consume all this stuff.
Right. You got to be active. You got to be engaged.
Okay, so question everything, get different perspectives, watch out for those emotional appeals.
And that confirmation bias.
Right. Confirmation bias, always looking for stuff that confirms what we already believe.
Mm.
Anything else we can do to, sharpen our critical thinking skills?
Well, there's this thing called information literacy.
Information literacy. Sounds kind of fancy.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mouthful, but basically it means understanding how information works, how it's created, how it spreads, how it's consumed.
So like understanding the whole process.
Exactly.
From start to finish.
Yep. And when you understand that, when you understand the the techniques that people use to persuade you, to manipulate you, then you're less likely to fall for it.
It's like having a BS detector.
Exactly.
I like
It's
that.
a valuable skill.
But that's all online, right?
Mhm.
What about when you're talking to people in real life? Like, what if your friends, your family, they're really into these conspiracy theories? Like, they're convinced the Illuminati is real.
Yeah, that can be tough.
How do you even approach those conversations?
Oh, I think the most important thing is to be respectful, to be empathetic, even if you completely disagree with them.
So no judging, no dismissing them.
Right. Remember, they're probably clinging to these theories because it gives them some sense of order, some sense of control in a world that feels very chaotic.
Makes sense.
So instead of trying to argue with them, try to understand where they're coming from.
Ask questions, listen to what they have to say.
Exactly. You might not change their mind, but you can at least have a productive conversation.
And maybe even learn something along the way, right?
Right.
I mean, even if we don't believe in these conspiracy theories, they can still get us thinking,
About important stuff.
yeah, about power, about control, about how the world really works.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up this deep dive on the Illuminati, what's the main takeaway for our listeners?
Well, I think the Illuminati, as it exists in these modern day theories, it's probably not real, but it's a powerful symbol
Of what?
of our anxieties about the world, our anxieties about power control and our search for meaning in a world that's often confusing and unpredictable.
And it reminds us, to be critical thinkers.
Always question, always be skeptical.
Don't just take things at face value. Do your own research.
Exactly.
The truth is out there, but we gotta work to find it.
Hmm.
This has been a really interesting conversation.
It has.
I've learned a lot,
Me too.
and I think it's actually been pretty empowering.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a reminder that we have the power to think for ourselves, to question the narratives that are out there.
And to form our own opinions.
Exactly.
That's important.
So thank you for joining us on this journey, everyone.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
And until next time, stay curious, stay skeptical, and most importantly, stay informed.